Hey guys, it's have a nice day. Today we're just going through some changes and updates after reset. So we will have the Kali, the 5-star Kali banner up, as well as the Notos sprite in game. So Notos is the next. It's coming in 2 weeks, but we will be able to see. Um, his sprite and everything after reset. If we were to go to the week after reset, we also have the new EE that is going to come for ML Bologna as well as TML, as well as the new lobby that is going to be in place. So look forward to that. We will also have some effect changes, being crit damage, escort, bleed, burn, and curse. We will, if you haven't seen it, I'll quickly go over it. So basically, crit damage is now a 70% increase. Escort is going to have, instead of 30%, it's going to have 40%. Bleed, burn are going to do more damages. And curse is now not limited to single target. And then we also have imprint stat adjustments. They're basically being rounded up. So good chance is definitely something that we will want to take advantage of and maximize for all the DPS and bruisers alike. And so let's go over the units that are also getting buffed. So up first is TML, top lock model Lulucam. So I am waiting for the gear event to equip the 20 speed sword. And that's going to bring her up to 291. Plus the speed EE, she's going to get 10 speed additionally. So that's going to bring her up to 301 speed, I believe. So basically, in her S2, she will now grant CR push for the whole allies, the whole team, by 20%. Granting the extra turn. So in her with her extra turn, that's going to be changed. So she will get the attack buff and a barrier to herself for 2 turns. She will get up to 100% defense pen, depending on the speed difference. Now with her EE, she's going to grant everyone the speed buff, as well as herself. So if we are at 390, let's with the speed buff, theoretically you could probably nuke anyone, in theory, under say under 200 speed. Basically, that's for us to test after the balance patch. But I think she might be back to the cleave comps. And then we have Long Crescent Bellona. That's also getting the EE. Where is she here? So with her EE, she's going to be basically doing injury on all her skills. Basically, just said basically again, she is going to be a bruiser who can self-heal. I have contemplated on a much thicker build in bulk, and I am going with a ER build as well. So something like that. I know it's pretty low in damage, but being a bruiser, so something like that where she just tanks, I might mod out the speed to keep her at 180 clean and just a little more damage. That's something I can mod. I'm kind of liking the ER low, or we can just stick to the left side build. So Lancelot, of course, she will get in her new buff kit, she will get the evasion by 15% for each of the surviving allies. So in Guild Wars, expect 45% evasion, that's including herself with 3 units, 60 if you are playing RTA or in Arena. Now I am going for a ER build because I don't want to rely or having to rely on evasion. But you know, to each of your own. You could even have the reposet on her if you're playing, choosing to play with her evasion. And then we also have Charlotte, who's going to be a counter queen, basically. So every time she attacks, she will grant herself 25% CR. At the start of the battle, as well as the end of the turn, she will have a barrier for herself based on her attack. And when she gets a buff and attacked, she will have a 50% damage reduction as well as a 50% damage increase. Her S3 now going forward after the buff will ignore 100% defense on the highest defense unit. That is an AoE still, so she's gonna be pretty fun. And now her EE, which is something I would probably recommend, is the effect 2, which gives her healing, so she can be out of the lifesteal set. And that's something I might play with. She is not... I don't really play bruisers, but I think she is going to be pretty good. You're gonna see a lot of people using her for sure. Up next, we also have Tori. She will now have a hit chance on her, Heart over Grace. Yeah, so on her S3, she will grant herself as well as the team with attack buff as well as a speed buff. Again, as we mentioned, she will get hit chance for herself. So that is another answer to Setsuka or any evasion units. We also have Robin, whose artifact is going to be buffed as well. Just to go over her artifact here. Let's see. I probably missed it. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so her artifact will now grant herself 10 souls when targeting all allies. Targeting all enemies doing an AoE, and then also has the 100% chance once it's maxed out to inflict burn for 1 turn. And going back to her kit, that's going to be buffed. Basically, everything remains the same except for the fact that when you do soul burn, and now it's a 10 soul burn, at the end of the turn detonates bleed and burn on the target or targets. And that's basically it. We have Kisei, that's also getting a buff. Basically just damage increase on Dark Scar, which is her S2. and this is the AoE one. So we also have Dian, who's going to have a horoscope change. So going from a slower speed to basically a mid speed. With her EE, which I recommend, probably, well, you got a choice between dispelling 2 debuffs when using Blessing of the Goddess, which is what I'll be going with, or you could go with the AoE healing based on target's max health on her S3. So I would like to use her as a she will be 300 speed post buff with this build. I like to try her against say Luna, ML Luna, who can cast the seal, but Dian should jump up, assuming we don't get cut, and she can cleanse off with using S2 or S3 now. So I think that's pretty good, and of course in her S3 she will increase defense now instead of critical hit resistance. I feel like I'm missing something here. No, that's it. And then of course she will still increase penetration resistance by 3 turns. So another way to deal with penetration damage DPSs aside from ML Ilanov. We will also have a buff on Leafy. Basically she is just going to have increased health across the board through imprint as well as her passive. And after the buff, her S3 will decrease buff's duration by 2 turns and ignore ER if her HP is higher than the enemies, much like Setsuka. Of course, she still has her extinction, so if you were a bruiser, I think she's gonna be really good. She was already, of course. So we have up next Brigitte, who's going to have a buff on her, what is it, subterfuge, granting swift attack and CR push by 50%, depending on who you choose to use her S2 on. That's about it. I expect her to have a few more buffs coming up if SG really wants to decide to make her usable. And then we have a unit that I'm pretty excited about, which is Xeno. So in his passive, he will now get a 50% evasion decrease to all enemies. And now I think this is not going to help with elemental disadvantages. This is basically, in my assumption, to erase the evasion by 50%. As simple as that. And I think he's gonna pair up really well with Ran, who has Frostbite. And let's see here. So in Xeno's kit, let's see here. So if the enemy has Frostbite, he will grant himself Rage and increase defense. So when he is granted Rage, then he ignores ER. And let's see, his SV will do an AoE, dispelling 2 buffs, as well as rupture for 2 turns. Now I don't expect him to be doing damage much. If he does, then I will do a DPS build, but that's basically the build that I'm going to have him on. Very excited for Arena, like the PvE Arena. Suzuka is going to be a joke now, along with Lady of the Scales, unless you choose to use Dark DN, in which case Ren Soul Burning could still get cocked. But yeah, pretty excited. And then we have one of my favorite unit getting buffed as well, on top of Xeno. So traditionally, Mildred gets the CR push when the ally kills an enemy, but now it's going to be decreased, or it's going to be rather easier to proc him now. So anytime the enemy or enemies go under 50% or below, he's going to proc 20% CR. And then when he procs, he now gets the attack buff before using S3. And for his EE, I am going to use the granting increase critical hit damage to the caster for 2 turns. And so that is why I am going to go with this build on this speed. So I've had people ask me why he is on the faster side. This is again just to speed tune with my openers. So the worst case is him not cutting, and so that is why I rather have less speed. Less damage and higher speed, just to ensure that I can jump and take the turn. And then the rest will quickly go over. We have also Arrowell, who hasn't been seen in a minute now. So again, his or her, I guess. Let's see. Of course, she will get the escort. So, and then of course escort itself is increased by 10% additionally. So he will grant, she will grant a 40% damage share. And let's see, defensive position, not really seeing it. Essentially, it's getting, she's giving increased defense to all allies as well. Let's see, judgment. Okay, so my bad. So Judgment of Light, which is this one here, will grant, will dispel all buffs on one enemy and increase defense to all allies. We will also have some additional stats to herself, so passively in her skill tree, we're going to have a 10% increase on health when using the S1, going from 5% to 10%. And then of course that's the start of the battle has now a 100% chance to increase ER proportional to caster's max health. So look forward to her having more ER as well. Yep, so that's that. Rooted, who I have never played and don't intend to play. It's not even in my box. He's on the bench. Is going to get a buff So he will give a 25% CR push, as well as a speed buff to all allies on his S3. S2 is now going to do a 75% chance on decreased attack, as well as increasing his own damage. Going from Gemini into Leo. So whatever that is, sorry, I don't think I'll be using him. So that is basically it. We also have another artifact buff, which is Kane's artifact. Let's see here. So this artifact, really just strictly PvE. In my opinion, when attacking, is now going to have a 8 to 16 damage increase for each debuff inflicted on the enemy. So increase by 4% up to a maximum of 32%. Yep. Let me see here. But anyhow, it is just strictly PvE. Yeah. Not sure how the numbers are going to be done in terms of the damage calculation. So anyway, I think that is all we have for today, as well as what to expect post maintenance. So thank you very much for watching, and good luck on your post on Kali, as well as Notos coming up if you are going to pull for him. Yeah, other than that, thank you again for watching, and until next time, have a nice day. Bye.